We are in the second week of Lent, as you might have remembered me saying. And this week I've been looking at Psalms chapter 16 through Psalm chapter 38. Well, there are a lot of good Psalms within that collection of books. And so it's hard for me to get all of the Psalms in. But I want to read a verse from Psalm 16 as well as read a verse from Psalm 38 today. So I'm going to look at two different chapters, Psalm 16 as well as Psalm 38, to give us a message for today. So in Psalm chapter 16, listen to verse 8. It says, "I have set the Lord continually before me. Because he is at my right hand, I will not be shaken." So in chapter 16, the psalmist David is saying, "I have set the Lord continually before me." And I want to ask you during this season of Lent, have you set God in front of you, before you? God has got to be in front. God has got to be in front of us, before us, so that we can fix our eyes on him. And if we do that, he goes on to say, because he's at my right hand, I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken. So that is an encouraging verse in order to keep us grounded, in order to keep us straight on the path during the season of Lent. Let's take a look at chapter 38. In chapter 38, verse 1, it's a different tune. It is also the Psalm of David, but listen to verse 1. It says, "O Lord, rebuke me not in your wrath, and chasten me not in your burning anger." Here the psalmist is saying, you know what? I know that I have messed up. I know that I have sinned. And because I know I've sinned, I deserve God's anger. I deserve God's wrath. But David's prayer is that God would discipline him in a measured way, that God would be patient with him. And I think that is an okay prayer to pray as well, that we know that we have failed, but that God would be gracious to us when he disciplines us. It would be not in his wrath, not in his anger, but that God would discipline us for our good and for our benefit. If we can think of that during the season of Lent, that the things that we go through, the difficulty that we go through, that God is disciplining us in order to lead us on the path of righteousness, I think that we will grow tremendously in our spiritual walk with him throughout this time of Lent.